The trauma from the previous night marked the beginning of Amaka's downfall. She withdrew from her friends, stopped attending lectures altogether, and began abusing alcohol to numb the pain. Her grades, already poor, reached an all-time low, and she was soon placed on academic probation. But that was not all. Amaka kept falling sick. Week after week, it was one sickness after another, from diarrhea to syphilis to malaria, typhoid, and worse. One day, she decided to visit the doctor, but received the shock of her life. It's not the end of the world, the doctor said. With the right treatment, you can live a normal life for a reasonable amount of years. Amaka cried on top of her voice. Just like a joke, Amaka is now HIV positive. How did it get to this point? She regretted every bit of her actions. If only she was contented, maybe this would not have happened. She prayed like never before, trying to give herself hope. She met Pastor Kingsley, who promised her that he could make her sickness disappear with a simple prayer. Instead of going to the hospital for medication, she kept spending the little she had on Pastor Kingsley, hoping he would heal her, but it was one story after another. Before she could realize it, she was out of money, and all her friends deserted her after noticing her ailment. It wasn't long until her landlord gave her a notice to be evicted from her luxurious apartment, which she usually paid for with ease. But now, she could barely afford to feed. Unable to cope, Amaka fell into depression. Her health deteriorated rapidly. Her pride was bruised, and that was when she realized she had no friends. One morning, her lifeless body was found in her small apartment by a concerned neighbor who hadn't seen her in days. The cause of death was attributed to an overdose of sleeping pills. The news of Amaka's death sent shockwaves through her family and the university community. Mr. and Mrs. Okonkwo were devastated, grappling with guilt and regret. If only we had done more to support her, her father lamented. If only we had listened. Chika and Cynthia, though shaken by the loss, continued with their lives, showing no signs of remorse. The university held a memorial service for Amaka, but the lessons from her story faded quickly for most. Amaka's tragic tale serves as a poignant reminder of the dangers of neglect and the consequences of making poor choices under pressure. Parents must recognize their responsibility to not only provide education, but also ensure the emotional and financial well-being of their children. Neglecting these needs can push vulnerable young people into situations that compromise their values and endanger their lives. For young individuals, Amaka's story underscores the importance of resilience, self-control, and seeking help when overwhelmed. No matter how difficult life becomes, compromising one's principles for temporary relief can lead to irreversible consequences. Amaka's life ended far too soon, but her story lives on as a cautionary tale for all who hear it.